Back. Now, we all know the importance of inclusive workplaces, yet the Disability Royal Commission has unveiled some staggering statistics that of almost 500,000 people working for leading Australian companies, only 1.15% are people living with disabilities. Here to share more is Debbie Brooks from atWork Australia, a disabilities employment service. Debbie, thanks for talking to us this morning. These statistics seem incredibly low. How does Australia stack up against the rest of the world?
Yeah, they are low. Unfortunately, Australia is one of the lowest employment rates for people living with a disability in the OECD. In Australia, people living with disability experience higher rates of unemployment. They tend to be unemployed for longer, and they experience much higher rates of underemployment compared to the general population. And there's been little progress to improve that in the last 25 years. So companies like atWork Australia are working hard to help try and change that situation.
How important is it to create diversity in the workplace?
It is really important to create diversity in the workplace. We know inclusive workplaces are likely to be more engaged, motivated and productive. Diverse workforces facilitate different methods of communication and collaboration, and that leads to more innovation. We also know that having a workforce that reflects the wider community leads to greater customer loyalty and satisfaction.
Right.
We at atWork Australia,
No, continue, please.
We're ultimately aiming for business to review their employment practices and take action towards having an inclusive workplace so everyone can see the benefits to their business.
Yeah, it's great. You just said there how important it is, and we can understand that. How easy is it? I mean, what is your advice to businesses who want to create more inclusive workplaces and hire more people living with disabilities?
Well, firstly, they could engage with their local disability employment services provider. So like atWork Australia, for example, when businesses connect with us, we can do things like provide disability awareness training, educate and increase awareness in their workplace. And we can help you along that whole process, so from recruitment through to onboarding and ongoing employment. A diverse workplace starts by creating a supportive environment that celebrates and empowers employees. And I would say be open-minded. Remember that social change starts by allowing Australians the opportunity to gain the benefits of employment.
Is it true that employers who employ people living with disabilities can actually see staff retention rates go up quite dramatically?
Yeah, that's right. Inclusive workplaces are likely to be more engaged, motivated and productive, and employees will stay with a diverse business for longer. According to the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, the average company that employs people with disability can see staff retention go up by 90%. And that can really allow them to focus on their business and not that revolving door of recruitment.
So, Debbie, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that you've heard from that businesses believe about having staff with disabilities?
I think one huge misconception is that people with disabilities can't complete the same tasks as their peers. I think the worst thing that you can do is assume that somebody isn't capable of certain things due to their disability. You'll be amazed at how people can adapt and find new ways of doing things. I think when I'm talking to employers, my advice is always let's create an environment where people feel comfortable to ask for what they need to support them to do their job really well. And then probably another misconception would be around cost. People believe that sometimes it can cost more to hire somebody with disability, which isn't the case. It's clear from research that employing people with disability costs the same as employing those without. And employers can get access to funding through the Australian Government's Employment Assistance Fund. So they offer financial assistance to employers to help cover the costs of meeting accessibility requirements. So that might be anything from IT equipment to accessing services for people with a disability. And of course, there's government-funded employment services like atWork Australia who can help support employers to find the right people for them at no cost.
It's an important message to get out there. Debbie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Now, next up, if you can have your cake and eat it too,